はい、皆さん、こんばんは、こんばんは。大家好，大家好，阿木木安安，晚上好，晚上好。对，嘛，之前有说过，我应该每个月都会来一次这个英语的阅读台的。等一下有声音吗？有声音吗？我不肯定有没有声音的。想ちょっと待ってね。OK，有，好的。嗨，大家好，晚上好，晚上好。我是 Vsupport 英文组的一期生 Fugu Aurelius 啊，有声音就可以了。OK，那之前的话，其实我就是随便在网上找一些的文章嘛，或者是我手上有一本书，或者是在网上找一些故事来念的。不过呢，其实可能呢，就想一下，要不我我把这个当做是一个听力的测验来做吧，这样的一个想法。所以呢，就可能今天会念的是，首先我会念一些比较简单一点的，就可能是一些网上免费的那个，你们都能够去找能够去找这个 script 的那一种，然后呢，就去再念一些比较深奥一点的，可能就会来一个小小的英语杂谈这样的形式。对，暂时是想着要这样了，暂时是想要是这样了。对，背景音乐会有声音吗？背景音乐会有声音吗？等一下，好像我自己的声音有点太大了，等我一下哦。OK。是我卡卡了 ，OK 没有？好的，那 So first we will read a little bit from the English teaching and learning material, around 3 to 4 of them, and then we will switch to some maybe 10 to 15 minutes of myself just chat in English just to see if you guys can follow up, and in the end I will read probably a chapter or two from some really hard ancient scripts classics. Hope that will be alright for you guys. Hope you can at least learn some kind of or get used to listening to English, because here's the thing, a lot of people I know, a lot of Taiwanese people I know, or Asian I know, the main difference between those who can speak English fluently and cannot, it's mostly about confidence and how they get used to speaking and listening to English. So sometimes when the confidence is a really huge reason for you to perform. For example, when you're doing some new tasks, you feel a bit scared, you'll be extra careful, but you just can't perform as well as those tasks you already done for like hundreds, thousands of times. And hence, I'm going to speak way slower than my normal English stream, just to let you guys have a heads up. Okay. I mean, it's a bit late. Let's see. Okay, I just picked this one from the 365 essays for English learner. This site actually have a lot of American related. I wish they do have Britain related theme, but most of the essays in here, most of the essays on the site is about I do have some. Okay, that's another site, but alright, I will use the American one first. Let's see. It's a little bit of okay. Homeschooling. Not every parent looks forward to the day when their child goes off to school. In fact, some parents are not sending their students to school at all. Instead, they are choosing to teach their children at school at home, and this is called homeschooling. Parents, caregivers, or private tutors educate children individually at home instead of sending them off to be formally educated in public or private school. In the US, only about 3% of children are homeschooled. 背景音乐可能要小声一点点 ，OK， 背景音乐小声一点点，好的，大概是这个，这样 OK 吗？这样 OK 吗？这样 OK 吗？这样 OK 吗？这样 OK 吗 ？OK 的话跟我说一声，如果还是太大声的话，还是跟我说一声哦，可以了。OK， 好，谢谢，谢谢阿默默跟我说一下啊、哦，谢谢。There are many reasons why some parents choose to homeschool. One reason is that some parents do not feel their children are safe in school because of bullying and a growing trend of police in school. Other parents want their child's education to be based on their religion or moral beliefs. Yet, other parents feel like the education in school is not good enough. Homeschooling is also seen as a choice of families that live in rural areas and families that travel like actors. There are many different ways to homeschool, and homeschooling allows parents to customize lessons based on their children's need. Family can purchase textbooks to use or create their own material. Some parents follow a philosophy called unschooling, which allows a child to determine when and how they want to learn based on their natural curiosity. Some worry that homeschooling means students won't have opportunities to socialize. To answer this concern, some families have created cooperatives where a group of homeschooled students will learn and play together and participate in activities that would normally happen in school, like field trips, and prom. Being homeschooled doesn't mean a student cannot go to college. Most colleges accept homeschooled students. However, for parents and students to create a portfolio or proof of what has been learned. 这个文章的大意就是， 在美国呢，其实也是有一些的在家教育的，就是小孩子没有去正规的学校里面学习，就可能有一些吧，就可能是因为宗教的原因，或者是在一些农村啊，或者是一些常常需要到处旅游的职业，像演员的话呢，他们都会在家教育自己孩子。那他们就可能自己去教，或者是请一些的私人的教师去教他们的孩子，那孩子就不会去上学了。原来上班或有些呢，有些家长呢，有些家长其实觉得学校很危险，于是呢就不去接受这个正规的教学，而是选择在家里教学。对，就是叫 homeschooling。对，那就在这种的在家教育这种 homeschooling 呢，其实也会有很多不同的方法。有些就是可能就是很正规的去买一些自己想用的教科书，也是有一种叫 unschooling 的一种的教学方式，那是让一个小孩去决定什么时候如何去学，就是根据他天生的那个好奇心去学，而不是就是塞一些的指南方针给他。那有些人就会担心，就是这种的在家教学 homeschooling 的话呢，就意味着学生是没有一个很好的机会去跟别人互动，去社会化。那有些的家庭呢，他们呢就会自己组一些小组，就会让这些 homeschool 的学生呢一起去玩，一起去学习，然后呢就可能也会举行一些的可能是出外的野外教学啊，或者是他们的 prom， 就是他们的毕业舞会这种。在美国的话呢，你 homeschool 的话，并不代表你就是没有一个正规的教育，或者是不能上大学。大部分的大学呢，其实会接受这种的 homeschooling 的，但是他们需要有一个证明，就是他们有学过些什么，让他们有资格去进这个大学，大概是这样子。这篇应该不算是很难吧？等一下。那有时候肚子有点饿。那这一篇不算是很难，这个的话大概是中等的吧，就是开始就是有一些基础的话，最基础的话，不，这是太简单了。刚才那个算是进阶级的，他自己说的话，我觉得这不算是很难。那我小学的时候的那种阅读理解的那种吧。想，对，因为它里面有很多都是跟美国有关嘛，所以呢一开始就会说他们的文化比较多的那种。不过后面也会有一些就是比较轻松一点吧。有篇没听过的字，对，蛮容易听出来。对，英文其实有一点是比较好的，就是你可以通过听那个声音，听那个发音，大概拼出那个字。在中文的话，如果你真的不会写的话，你是不能拼这个字出来，是没可能的。德文的话也还可以，因为德文的发音的规则还是比较稳定的那种，法文是绝对不可以的，对，法文的话， 女侠。法文的话，我之后有机会真的要学一下。这大概，如果是念法文的话，bienvenue, what's that correspondant, l'action 4，那真的是没办法的。那我当时打招沙发边，法文的话大概是这个感觉。Salut, c'est là, tout va bien? Oui, ça va bien. Et toi? Je vais bien, merci. J'habite à Montréal, maintenant, avec ma femme. Au Canada? Oui, oui, au Canada. Ah, c'est bien. Et que ton adresse? Mon adresse? Alors, c'est David Deloche。35这是什么？我忘了它的数字是怎么说。不，它数字是怎么说？数字是怎么说？数字是怎么说？我忘了35是什么？忘了35是什么啊？我法文以前有学过的，可是它的这个数字我忘了是怎么说。comme tu as une adresse email? Oui, c'est deloche@hotmail.com. Comment va ton ami espagnol? Lui, il va bien. Il est à Paris avec son fille. Il parle français maintenant. Tu as son adresse? 对，你这个就是你听上去你是不会知道它是怎么，它的拼音会是怎么样。Son chapeau et son blouson, c'est ça? Oui, son chapeau et son blouson. Ils sont dans la chambre de Mélanie, sous l'étagère à côté de la fenêtre. L'étagère avec des livres à gauche de la fenêtre? Non. L'étagère contre le mur à droite de la fenêtre, sous les affiches. Oh là là. À droite de... Ah oui. Sur la chaise, il y a un blouson et un chapeau. Voilà. C'est ça. 那你听上去你是根本不可能拼出来的，好吗？但是如果是德文的话，等一下，待会我这东西等一下。如果是德文的话，那这个会有课文吗？Ich heiße Claudia Müller. Ich komme aus Deutschland und wohne jetzt in Taipei. Ich bin Studentin. Ich studiere Chinesisch. Ich bin 21. Ich habe einen Freund. Er heißt Hans und er ist Taiwaner. Er arbeitet schön und ist Koch von Beruf. Ich bin blond und meine Augen sind braun. Meine Hobbys, the H is silent. Meine Hobbys sind Lesen und Joggen. Meine Eltern wohnen in Hamburg. Meine Adresse ist Schillerstraße 150. Meine Mutter heißt Beatrice. Sie ist Französin. Sie ist Französisch. OK， 这个太难了，这个不行。 这个我不行，这个我不行。Mein Vater heißt Martin Müller. Er ist 1, 2, 3, 4, 64 Jahre alt und ist Winter. Er geht bald in Rente. Ich habe keine Geschwister, aber meine Cousinen wohnen in Frankreich und wir haben oft Kontakt. Sie wohnen in Paris. 你听得出？I'm trying my best, but my German is definitely not the best. Yeah, I want to relearn, German and French, but yeah, I just kind of not doing so well. Merci. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but thank you, I guess. Okay, let's do another easy one in English, how we? What that? Don't be tardy to the party. In the United States, people love to throw parties for many reasons. Of course, there are the usual birthday parties, but some people even have parties to celebrate divorce. No matter what kind of party you are going to, it's a good idea to make sure you are actually invited. It's considered rude to just show up unless the host the person giving the party invited you. You will either get a paper, email, or verbal invitation to a party. Alternately, you can also go as a guest of someone else invited, like as his or her date. Once invited, it is very important to let the host know if you are actually going to show up. Many times, hosts have a party catered, which means other people prepare the food. They need to know how much food to have. Letting them know if you are showing up or not helps the host and is considered polite. I'm just saying you're trying to, I'm not saying it's the best, but you are trying to know.第二次了，不是刺身啦，没有刺身啦。So I'm reading some basic English teaching and learning material just for like a listening exercise, and then I will switch to something harder and then harder and then harder. Okay? It is also important to be relatively punctual for a party. Most parties in the US never start exactly when they say they will. Many people like to be fashionably late. That is, showing up after about 30 minutes after the party is supposed to start. People like to do this to make a big entrance. Showing up more than 30 minutes before or after is considered rude though. If you show up too early, you are likely to interrupt valuable preparation time of the host. If you show up too late, you are just being rude. Even if it is not a birthday party, it is polite to bring a gift for the host. It doesn't need to be a fancy gift. A bottle of wine or even flowers as polite and will be appreciated。对，这个应该也不算是太难吧？这应该不算是太难吧？对，这些还是比较简单的了，比较简单的。那大概就是说，在美国的一些 party 的守则嘛 ，party 的守则，对，就是说一些在美国呢，其实他们做什么事情也会有一个 party 的，就可能是你会听到，当然是生日派对啦，或者是这个的公报，就是公报他的婴儿的那个 gender review party 啊，或者是一些的国家的国庆，或者是什么圣诞节都会有一些 party。然后呢，有些的甚至是离婚也会举行一个派对啦。但是无论是哪一种派对呢，你是还是确认你是有被邀请的，除非那个举办的那个人呢邀请你的，如果不是你贸然的就去串门的话呢，他们会觉得你很粗鲁，没有礼貌。对，你通常呢会收到一张的纸张、电邮或者是这个语言上的邀请，语言上的邀请嘛，或者呢，你可以呢就是作为一个客人的另一半，所以就是英文常常会有 plus one。Do you have a plus one？ 就是你会不会带一个人过来这个派对，这个意思。当你就是被邀请的时候呢，你需要非常重要的一点就是你需要让那个主人知道你到底会不会来。很多时候呢，他会邀请，他们通常都是雇人去准备这个食物的，所以呢，他需要知道要预多少人的分量。让他们知道你到底会不会来呢？是会帮那个主人家呢预算的更好，而且呢他们都会觉得这是很有礼貌的一个举动。当然呢，相对上呢，你去个 party 呢，还是要准时一点好。大部分呢美国的派对呢，他们都不会在他们说开始的时间开始，很多人就会大概有种是30分钟左右的，才进场，因为呢，他就是搞得好像很盛大，就是我来啦这种的盛大的进场，但是如果呢，你在30分钟前或者后进场的话，你就是被觉得没有礼貌。太早进去的话呢，你会影响到那个主人准备的功夫时间。如果你太迟的话，你就是单纯是很没礼貌。就算不是一个生日的派对呢，为那个主人带一份礼物也是很重要的。你并不需要一个很华丽的礼物。一瓶酒或者是一朵花，其实已经很有礼貌了，他们也会很感谢你这个的带这个的心意，就这样，就这样，大家这个应该也不会有太大的难度了吧？等一下。不好意思，我在吃东西，对不起，我在吃东西，对不起，我在偷吃，对不起。你们应该都吃了晚饭了吧 ？You guys have your dinner yet？ Not go to bed with an empty belly, huh? Sorry, I actually haven't get my dinner yet. 光明正大的吃，没错啦，没错啊，没错，这个台的台主就是会这样啊，光明正大的吃。怎么了？揍我啊！揍我！不对。习惯了？什么习惯呢？什么习惯呢？没礼貌，没礼貌欸。没礼貌好吗？没礼貌好吗？什么习惯呢？哈啊？不好意思了，因为我今天真的，其实我今天还是比较早起床，比较晚起床嘛，所以就很多时候就那很多时候呢就会，因为真的直播有一点是，其实蛮好的地方就是你可以一边吃。不对，我现在是英文了。OK, so here's one thing, I'm quite a late waker. So whenever I wake up, so I just can't stay, I just can't wake up too early, or else I'll be extra aggressive. 我的一种特色，什么特色啦？没有啦，没有吃饭 ASMR 好吗？ So if I have to wake up earlier than 9, I will be like a little bit pissy. Earlier than 8, I'll be extremely tired, and earlier than 7, I'll be like really toxic. Yeah, and one thing for streaming is no one actually cares if I eat something or not. When I'm working. That's great. Yeah. So right now I can just slurping noodles. And just hope your poor buggers had your dinner before watching the stream. But it's actually 10:30, so you guys should be able to. You should have your dinner already, isn't it? Yeah, but not gonna lie, personally, I do have some trouble when it comes to work. Yeah, I want a lot of like liberty, for example, like free time, like deciding my own time schedules. Yeah, really, right now a lot of people just want to work from home just to reduce the cost and time on commute, and yeah, and then yeah, you have to think of this. A lot of the tasks, a lot of the work can actually easily done at home with the help of a computer. A lot of the software like Salesforce, K8, whatsoever, the CRM system, whatsoever, customer relations management system, they can be easily implement into let's say a home computer or like a personal computer, if they really want to reduce the risk of any information leakage, they can just give them a really old but cheap, highly secured laptop, which I had one. Yeah. So not gonna lie, a lot of work you feel like it's not really necessary to be done in office. Of course, a lot of work there is a necessity for the office, but something like customer services, call center, maybe some administration stuff, maybe like underwriting, they might not need such a huge thing. They might not need everyone to just stay in the same office, stay in the same workplace. Yeah, you can say that there are benefits on going to the office though. For example, it's easier to train. It's easier to take part into those 金鱼案. It's easier to train newcomers by letting him or her shadowing the more senior or more experienced colleague. That's for one. And it's better and easier for them to do team building. And this kind of team building can raise morales and improve their cohesion, which in the end will help them to perform better and communicate better in terms of the working atmosphere. But still, personally, I'm not a huge fan of these kind of you must stay in the office from 9 to 6 every day kind of work style. 这个是我平常杂谈的话，我应该语速会比再快一点吧。不过今天的话，语速会变得慢一点了。你看，好，我知道了。让我插一下嘴。OK， 好，我们继续。今天的我是比较友善的了。那你们要试一下比较难一点的吗？我不应该吃辣的。开场的时候我不应该吃辣的泡面的，可恶，好辣。我刚才只是吃一个辣的泡面，好辣，不行，我的喉咙好痛。 下，紧张的话，这个，对，金鱼你说过你不吃辣的，我们来个进阶一点的吧。An inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nation. Book 1 by Adam Smith. Chapter 1 of the division of labor. The greatest improvement in the productive powers of labor and the greater part of the skills, dexterity, and judgment with which it is anywhere directed or applied seems to have been the effect of the division of labor. The effect of the division of the labor and the general business of society will be more easily understood by considering in what manner it operates in some particular manufactures. It is commonly supposed to be carried further in some very trifling ones, not perhaps that it really is carried further in them than in others of more importance. But in those trifling manufactures which are destined to supply the small wants of but a small number of people, the whole number of workmen must necessarily be small, and those employed in every different branch of the work can often be collected into the same workhouse and placed at once under the view of the spectator. In those great manufactures, on the contrary, which are destined to supply the greater wants of the great body of the people, every different branch of the work employs so great a number of workmen that it is impossible to collect them all into the same workhouse. We can seldom see more at one time than those employed in one single branch, though in such manufactures, therefore, the work may really be divided into a much greater number of parts than in those of a more trifling nature. The division is not near so obvious, and has accordingly been much less observed. To take an example, therefore, from a very trifling manufacture, but one in which the division of labor has been very often taken notice of. The trade of the pin maker. A workman not educated to this business, which the division of labor has rendered a distinct trade, nor acquainted with the use of the machinery employed in it to the invention of which the same division of labor has probably given occasion, could scarce, perhaps with his utmost industry, make 1 pin in a day. And certainly could not make 20. But in the way in which this business is now carried on, not only the whole work is a peculiar trade, but it is divided into a number of branches, of which the greater part are likewise peculiar trade. One man draws out the wire, another straightens it, a third cuts it, a fourth points it, a fifth grinds it at the top for receiving the head. To make the head requires 2 or 3 distinct operations. To put it on is a peculiar business. To whiten the pins is another one. It is even a trade by itself to put them into the paper. And the important business of making a pin is, in this manner, divided into about 18 distinct operations, which, in some manufactories, are all performed by distinct hands, though in others the same man will sometimes perform 2 or 3 of them. I have seen a small manufactory of this kind, where 10 men only were employed, and where some of them consequently perform 2 or 3 of distinct operations. But though they were very poor, and therefore but indifferently accommodate with the necessary machinery, they could, when they exerted themselves, make among them about 12 pounds of pins a day. There are in a pound upward of 4,000 pins of a middling size. Those 10 persons, therefore, could make among them upwards of 48,000 pins in a day. Each person, therefore, making a 10th part of 48,000 pins, might be considered as making 4,800 pins in a day. But if they had all wrought separately and independently, and without any of them having been educated to this peculiar business, they certainly could not each of them have made 20, perhaps not 1 pin in a day. That is, certainly not the 240th, perhaps not the 4,800th part of what they are at present capable of performing. In consequence of a proper division and combination of their different operations. 这个大家会听懂吗？看一下，这个大家会听懂吗？有听懂吗？有听懂吗？这个是亚当·史密斯的《国富论》的第1章，也就是这个Division of Labor。对，这个是比较进阶的啦，就是我大学会读的那些啦。 嗯呀，我在喝这个柚子蜜，然后不小心弄到了，酷。Okay, let's go back to some more easier part because seems like a lot of you guys doesn't. Yeah, it is about economy. That's correct. It's the basic of micro and macro economy, the division of labor from the wealth of nations of Adam Smith. Yeah, it is quite difficult but a good read. Okay, how about move back to a little bit easier, shall we?这个有点好像是太简单了吧。那这一次的话，我的语速就稍微调快一点吧。如果说这个英文的这些短的文章是蛮简单的话，那我就等一下这个。如果是正常说英文的语速的话，就应该是这样。I have been in the same math class as Eric for a few months now. He always helps me on my homework. He is extremely nice and funny. One day, I decided to ask Eric if he wanted to go out with me to the mall. I was so happy when he said yes. I was excited. This would be my first date. I was also nervous since I had never been on a date. I did not know what to do or how to act. I hope I would figure it out. I planned out our date to the minute. I wanted to be prepared and know exactly what to do. We were going to the mall on Saturday at noon. He was going to pick me up and drive to the mall, where we would get food and then shop at our favorite store. However, when the day came, everything went wrong. First of all, I could not find my favorite outfit that I had planned on wearing. I settled for a clean plain t-shirt and some jeans. He was also late because his car got a flat tire on the way to my house. I was scared about what else could go wrong. He apologized about being late, and I forgave him. We talked in the car and played music as we drove. We had a good conversation about school, traveling, and family. He was easy to talk to. I was so relieved. The date ended up being really fun. We had a good time eating and shopping at the mall. 这样的语速可以吗？这样的话会不会对你们来说太快？应该不会吧？应该还可以吧？因为这是我平常说英语的语速。对，我平常说可以，那就好，那就难一点进阶的那一个我都用这个语速好了，难一点的我用这个语速好了。等一下，有没有一些难的？有一些难的，后面这个呢？English level 1, intermediate. Intermediate learner. Man accused of failing to return more than 700 children's book to 5 different libraries in the country, was released from jail yesterday after a book publisher agreed to post his bond of $1,000. The publisher said, "That's a story here." アボカドさん、アボカド牛油果的那个不是酪梨的那个吗？阿福卡多さん，晚上好。There's a story here. This is a man who loves books. He just can't let go of them. He hasn't stolen a single book, so what's the crime? We think that Mr. Baruch has a story to tell. We plan to publish his story. When asked why he didn't return the books, Mr. Baruch said, "Well, how could I? They become the family to me. I was afraid to return them because I knew that kids or dogs would get hold of these books and chew them up, throw them around, rip the pages, spill soda on them, get jam and jelly on them, and drown them in the toilet." He continued, "Books are people too. They talk to you, they take care of you, and they enrich you with wisdom and humor and love. A book is my guest in my home. How could I kick it out? I repaired torn pages, I dust them with a soft clean cloth. I turned their pages so they could breathe and get some fresh air. Every week, I reorganized them on the shelves so they could meet new friends. My books were happy books. You could tell just by looking at them. Now they're all back in the library, on the lower shelves, on the floor, at the mercy of all those runny-nosed kids. I can hear them calling me. I need to rescue them. Excuse me, I have to go now." 这是个短故事，这是短故事了，这是短故事了。Reference, grammar, news review. 那个看一下这个的话，它这个有这个 script 吗？没有 script， 没有 script。An English course, hard course, towards advanced course, easy level. Try something different. Our podcast, everyday situation. News. Let me see if there's any like not political, not economic, just fun UK news. Okay, no. I'm looking at BBC. direct rail service between Shropshire and London are to end in June. The Department of Transport blamed poor passengers' numbers for the decision. The service operated by Avanti West Coast were relaunched by the previous operator Virgin in 2014, and alternative operators WSMR is in the process of applying for permission to run a similar service. Between 40 and 60 passengers a day use the direct service, which currently consists of only one train a day in each direction. It leaves Shrewsbury at 7:04 GMT and returns at 18:16, also calling at Telford Central and Wellington. Transport bosses said service on both legs of the journey to Birmingham and on to London would increase. A DFT spokesperson said when Avanti will be withdrawing this service due to the very low number of passengers who use it, West Midlands Trains has plans to ramp up the number of trains between Shropshire, Towns and Birmingham. Avanti is looking to increase fast service between Birmingham and London. This will bring great benefits to more passengers in the West Midlands. The move was criticized by Telford and Wrekin's Council, home to two of the stations on the route. Lee Carter, the councillor in charge of economic development, said it flew in the face of government levelling up policies. We know how important direct services are to improving the Shrewsbury to Wellington rail line and the economic benefit this could give. However, it undermines any future rail investment, he added. The history of direct trains between Shropshire and London is distinctly stop-start. Avanti and its predecessor on the West Coast Main Line, Virgin, have both introduced, reduced, and withdrawn service over the years. The continuation of the service has been the subject of intense lobbying by MPs, local authorities, and business leaders. Open access operator Wrexham, Shropshire, and Marylebone Railway operated its own route independent of the national franchising system between 2008 and 2011. A new company, also with the initial WSMR, but independent of the former operator, is applying to run a new service. It would serve stations from Wrexham, including Goulburn, Shrewsbury, and Telford, before passing through the West Midlands en route to Euston. However, it would bypass Birmingham, with train passing directly from Wolverhampton to Coleshill Parkway and Nuneaton. The route is subject to approval by the Office for Rail Regulation, but ministers have expressed their support in principle. Give me a second. Okay. Grammar and writing, grammar notes, easy grammar exercise, grammar reading, speaking, English conversation. Right. Sentence and writing, speak English fast. By student. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to a little bit difficult because the BBC News, more or less the harder words are about the name of a certain place like Shrewsbury, Talesford. Not really hard words or like hard grammar you will need to use. Don't worry. If you want, we can go back to easier ones. Okay, let's go back to one more easier one. Yeah, one more easier one. We should. American song, pronunciation of proper nouns, proverb, vocabulary list. This is America, mini novels for English. Okay, British Council, British English Online. How about this one? General IELTS examination preparation lessons. Oh, we gotta pay for it. Cambridge English. Let's see. Nope. Not this. Okay, let's go back to American one though. Yeah, because the one thing I want to show is the normal like lifestyle and culture of England, but unfortunately there isn't a lot of them online that is free and can act as some kind of English learning resource. While Americans, they got loads of them online, so I'm happy to use Americans one. Yeah, just saying, Americans and English do have something similar, but in the other sense, a lot of them are not. Yeah, for example, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That's an American thingy. We make our tea with hot water, not in a microwave. We add milk in it during or after. Yeah, we got a lot of difference. So, oh crap, I'm gonna go to toilet. So, let me get a BRB. No. BRB. I'm gonna go toilet. Guys, I'm gonna go toilet. Give me a second. ちょっと待ってね，我回来了，我回来了，等一下。我回来了，ただいま，ただいま，ただいま，不好意思，我刚才上厕所了。不好意思，我刚才上厕所，刚才突然肚子痛嘛，没办法。はい、そうね。セッティング、不動。あ、いや。これ、OK。OK。あ。Okay. Yeah, a lot of them are quite political. Yeah. Nation was born. That's like, wow. Being parties, helicopter versus free range mom. It's bad. In the United States, someone legally becomes an adult when they turn 18 years old. At 18, US citizens can vote. They can also serve in the military and go fight in the war for the country. And 18 years old can also buy cigarettes and other tobacco products. But, Mochi-san, hello, konbanwa. But 18 years old cannot buy alcoholic beverage. People in the US need to wait until they are 21 to be able to do that. At the age of 18, people can legally live on their own, work, and get married. However, turning 18 doesn't mean everyone is ready to take on adult responsibilities. At the age of 18, most people are just graduating from high school. Many will go to college. Some young people choose to go to college far from their home and live in dormitories. Others pick a college close to home and stay with their parents to save money. Yet, others will choose to live on their own legally. A parent does not have to provide for the child when the child turns 18. Some parents in the US take this very seriously and expect the children to move out as soon as they turn 18. Some parents will even forcibly kick their kids out when the kids turn 18. There tends to be some difference about this depending on if the kid is female or male. It's considered more acceptable for a female to stay living with her parents after her 18th birthday. Many females aren't expected to leave their parents' house until they get married. There is still an expectation of young men, however, to go out and live independent lives as soon as they can. With the economy of the US struggling, some adult children are returning to their parents' home in the 20s and 30s. These are called boomerang kids. Since like boomerang, they return where they come from. 嗨，你们又在贴贴，嗨，你们又在贴贴，嗨，那我就念难一点的咯。你们在贴贴的话，我就念难一点的咯。听完这个，你一定会想睡觉。In every other art and manufacture, the effects of the division of labor are similar to what they are in this very trifling one. Though, in many of them, the labor can neither be so much subdivided nor reduced to so great a simplicity of operation. The division of labor, however, so far as it can be introduced, occasions in every art a proportionable increase of the productive power of labor. The separation of different trades and employment from one another seems to have taken place in consequence of this advantage. This separation, too, is generally called thirdest in those countries which enjoy the highest degree of industry and improvement. What is the work of one man in the root state of society being generally that of several in an improved one. In every improved society, the farmer is generally nothing but a farmer, the manufacturer nothing but a manufacturer. The labor, too, which is necessary to produce any one complete manufacture, is almost always divided among a great number of hands. How many different trades are employed in each branch of the linen and woolen manufactures, from the growers of the flax and the wool to the bleachers and smoothers of the linen, or to the dyers and dressers of the cloth? The nature of agriculture, indeed, does not admit of so many subdivisions of labor, nor of so complete a separation of one business from another as manufactures. It is impossible to separate so entirely the business of the grazier from that of the corn farmer as the trade of the carpenter is commonly separate from that of the smith. The spinner is almost always a distinct person from the weaver, but the ploughman, the harrower, the sower of the seed, and the reaper of the corn are often the same. The occasions for those different sorts of labor returning with the different seasons of the year. It is impossible that one man should be constantly employed in any one of them. The impossibility of making so complete and entire a separation of all the different branches of labor employed in agriculture is perhaps the reason why the improvement of the productive power of labor in this art does not always keep pace with the improvement in manufactures. The most opulent nations, indeed, generally excel all their neighbors in agriculture as well as in manufactures, but they are commonly more distinguished by their superiority in the latter than in the former. The lands are in general better cultivated, and having more labor and expense bestowed upon them, produce more in proportion to the extent and natural fertility of the ground. But this superiority of produce is seldom much more than in proportion to the superiority of labor and expense. In agriculture, the labor of the rich country is not always much more productive than that of the poor, or at least it is never so much more productive as it commonly is in manufactures. The corn of the rich country, therefore, will not always, in the same degree of goodness, come cheaper to market than that of the poor. 哎，啱啱我再貼貼，然後又不認，我好渣哦。The corn of Poland, in the same degree of goodness, is as cheap as that of France, notwithstanding the superior opulence and improvements of the latter country. The corn of France is, in the corn province, fully as good, and at most year nearly about the same price with the corn of England, though in opulence and improvement France is perhaps inferior to England. The corn lands of England, however, are better cultivated than those of France, and the corn lands of France are said to be much better cultivated than those of Poland. But though the poor country, notwithstanding the inferiority of its cultivation, can, in some measure, rival the rich in the cheapness and goodness of its corn, it can pretend to no such competition in its manufactures, at least if those manufactures suit the soils, climate, and situation of the rich country. Hello, Oni. Hello. Wait, are you streaming right now? Are you streaming right now, Oni? Nope, you're not. Oh, you're not. Oh, you wake up late. You just woke up. Yeah, to be honest, I wake up like 2 hours ago, so yeah. I'm no different than you. Agriculture, where was I? Where was I? Where was I? The silks of France are better and cheaper than those of England because the silk manufacture. Because you did. Yeah, I was eating earlier in the stream, like slurping noodles earlier in the stream. So yeah. Well, the silk of France are better and cheaper than those of England because the silk manufacture, at least under the present high duties upon the importation of raw silk, does not so well suit the climate of England as that of France. But the hardware and coarse woolens of England are beyond all comparison superior to those of France, and much cheaper too in the same degree of goodness. In Poland, they are said to be scarce, any manufactures of any kind, a few of those coarser household manufactures except, without which no country can well subsist. Oh, you did. Oh, editing. Oh, the cheap. Oh, yeah, the cheapy chapter. Oh. Oh, yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, I think I saw that on Twitter, like, earlier today. Yeah, I think that's... I think that's... Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. Yeah, earlier today. I did saw that. Yeah. Shit. Where was I? Okay, I blame only for... Oh, okay. This great increase of the quantity of work, which, in consequence of the division of labor, the same number of people are capable of performing, it's owing to 3 different circumstances. First, to the increase of dexterity in every particular workman. Secondly, to the saving of the time which is commonly lost in passing from one species of work to another. And lastly, to the invention of a great number of machines which facilitate and abridge labor, and enable one man to do the work of many. Yeah, you're now getting me chippy chopper again? No, mate. First, the improvement of the dexterity of the workman necessarily increase the quantity of the work he can perform, and the division of labor by reducing every man's business to some one simple operation, and by making this operation the sole employment of his life, necessarily increase very much dexterity of the workman. A common smith who, though accustomed to... No, I'm not cute. Shut up. Though accustomed to handle the hammer, has never been used to make nails. If upon some particular occasion he is obliged to attempt it, it will scarce, I am assured, be able to make about 200 or 300 nails in a day, and those 2 very bad ones. No, I'm not. Amamo, shut up. No. Mochi, no, I'm not. I'm not cute. No, I'm not cute. What have you like drank? You guys drunk? I'm not cute. I'm not cute. I'm not cute. No, I'm not cute. Shut up. Everyone shut up. Shut up. No, no, uncle. No, uncle. No, uncle. What do you mean, uncle? What do you mean, uncle? Shut up. You guys shut up. You guys shut up. Bleh. 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 Shut up. No. I'm not uncle. I'm not uncle. I'm not uncle. I'm not cute. I'm not cute. Shut up. Shut up. No, no, no. Bleh. Okay, because you say I'm cute, I'm going to increase my speed. Oh wait, let me reply message. Okay. Let's see. I have seen several boys under 20 years of age who had never exercised any other trade but that of making nails, and who, when they exerted themselves, could make, each of them, upwards of 2,300 nails in a day. The making of a nail, however, is by no means one of the simplest operations. Same person blows the bellow, stirs or mends the fire as there is occasions, heats the iron, and forges every part of the nail. In forging the head, too, he is obliged to change his tools. The different operations into which the making of a pin, or of a metal button, is subdivided, are all of them much more simple, and the dexterity of the person, of whose life it has been the sole business to perform them, is usually much greater. The rapidity with which some of the operations of those manufacturers are performed exceed what the human hand could, by those who had never seen them, be supposed capable of acquiring. 这个 So this one, can you guys understand that? Secondly, the advantage, which is gained by saving the time, commonly lost in passing from one sort of work to another, is much greater than we should, at first view, be apt to imagine it. It is impossible to pass very quickly from one kind of work to another that is carried on in a different place and with quite different tools. A country weaver who cultivates a small farm must lose a good deal of time in passing from his loom to the field, and from the field to his loom. When the two trades can be carried on in the same workhouse, the loss of time is no doubt much less. It is, even in this case, however, very considerable. A man commonly shortens a little in turning his hand from one sort of employment to another. When he first begins the new work, he is seldom very keen and hearty. His mind, as they say, does not go to it, and for some time he rather truffles than applies to good purpose. The habit of sauntering and of indolent, careless applications, which is naturally or rather necessarily acquired by every country workman who is obliged to change his work and his tools every half hour, and to apply his hand in 20 different ways almost every day of his life, renders him almost always slothful and lazy, and incapable of any vigorous application even on the most pressing occasion. Independent, therefore, of his deficiency in point of dexterity, this cause alone must always reduce considerably the quantity of work which he is capable of performing. Thirdly, and lastly, everybody must be sensible how much labor is facilitated and abridged by the application of proper machinery. It is unnecessary to give any example. I shall only observe, therefore, that the invention of all those machines by which labor is so much facilitated and abridged seems to have been originally owing to the division of labor. Men are much more likely to discover easier and readier method of attaining any object. When the whole attention of the minds is directed more likely to discover easier and readier methods of attaining any object. When the whole attentions of the and then towards a single object, then when it is dissipated among a great variety of things, but in consequence of the division of labor, the whole of every man's attention the whole of every man's attentions come naturally to be directed towards someone's very simple object. It is naturally to be expected, therefore, that someone or other of those who are employed in each particular branch of labor should soon find out easier and readier methods of performing their own particular work. God, I still got something stuck in my nose. Whoever has been much accustomed to visit such manufactures must frequently have been shown very pretty machines which were the invention of such workmen in order to facilitate and quicken their particular part of work. In the first fire engines, a boy was constantly employed to open and shut alternately the communication between the boiler and the cylinder, according as the piston either ascend or descend. One of those boys, who loved to play with his companion, observed that, by tying a string from the handle of the valve which opened this communication to another part of the machine, the valve would open and shut without his assistant, and leave him at liberty to divert himself with his playfellow. One of the greatest improvements that has been made upon this machine, since it was first invented, was in this manner the discovery of a boy who wanted to save his own labor. 我的鼻子还是塞塞的，怎么办？ All the improvements in machinery, however, have by no means been the invention of those who had occasion to use the machines. Many improvements have been made by the ingenuity of the makers of the machines, when to make them become the business of a peculiar trade. And some by that of those who are called philosophers or men of speculations, whose trade it is not to do anything, but to observe everything, and who upon that account are often capable of combining together the powers of the most distant and dissimilar objects. In the progress of society, philosophy or speculations becomes, like every other employment, the principal or sole trade and occupations of a particular class of citizens. Like every other employment, too, it is subdivided into a great number of different branches, each of which afford occupations to a peculiar tribe or class of philosophies. And this subdivision of employment in philosophy, as well as in every other business, improves dexterity and saves time. Each individual becomes more expert in his own peculiar branch. More work is done upon the whole, and the quantity of science is considerably increased by it. It is the great multiplication of the production of all the different arts, in consequence of the division of labor, which occasions in a well-governed society that universal opulence which extends itself to the lowest rank of the people. every workman has a great quantity of his own work to dispose of beyond what he himself has occasions for, and every other workman being exactly in the same situation. He is enabled to exchange a great quantity of his own goods for a great quantity, or what comes to the same thing, for the price of a great quantity of theirs. He supplies them abundantly with what they have occasion for, and they accommodate him as amply with what he has occasion for, and a general plenty diffuses itself through all the different rank of the society. Observe the accommodation of the most common artificer or day labor in a civilized and thriving country, and you will perceive that the number of people whose industry part, though but a small part, has been employed in procuring him this accommodation exceed all computation. The woolen coat, for example, which covers the day laborer, as coarse and rough as it may appear, is the produce of the joint labor of a greater multitude of workmen. The shepherd, the sorter of the wool comber or carder, the dyer, the scribbler, the spinner, the weaver, the fuller, the dresser, with many others, must all join their different arts in order to complete even this homely production. How many merchants and couriers, besides, must have been employed in transporting the materials from some of those workmen to others who often lived in a very distant part of the country? How much commerce and navigation in particular, how many shipbuilders, sailors, sailmakers, rope makers must have been employed in order to bring together the different drugs made use of by the dyer, which often come from the remotest corner of the world. With a variety of labor too is necessary in order to produce the tools of the meanest of these workmen, to say nothing of such complicated machines as the ship of the sailor, the mill of the fuller, or even the loom of the weaver. Let us consider only with a variety of labor its requisite in order to form that very simple machine. The shears with which the shepherd clips the wool, the miner, the builder of the furnace for smelting the ore, the seller of the timber, the burner of the charcoal to be made use in the smelting house, the brickmaker, the bricklayer, the workmen who attend the furnace, the millwright, the forger, the smith, must all of them join their different arts in order to produce them. Were we to examine in the same manner all the different parts of his dress and household furniture, the coarse linen shirt where he wears next to his skin, the shoes which cover his feet, the bed which he lies on, and all the different parts which compose it, the kitchen grate at which he prepares his victuals, the coals which he makes use of for the purpose, dug from the bowels of the earth, and brought to him perhaps by a long sea and a long land carriage, all the other utensils of his kitchen, all the furniture of his table, the knives and forks, the earthens or pewter plates, upon which he serves up and divides his victual. Victuals, the different hand employed in preparing his bread and his beer, the glass window which lets in the heat and light, and keeps out the wind and the rain, with all the knowledge and art requisite for preparing that beautiful and happy invention, without which this northern part of the world could scarce have afforded a very comfortable habitation, together with the tools of all the different workmen employed in producing those different conveniences. If we examine, I say, all these things, and consider what a variety of labor is employed about each of them, we shall be sensible that without the assistance and cooperation of many thousands, the very meanest person in a civilized country could not be provided, even according to what we very falsely imagine the easy and simple manner in which he is commonly accommodated. Compare, indeed, with more extravagant luxury of the great, his accommodation must no doubt appear extremely simple and easy. And yet it may be true, perhaps, that the accommodation of an European prince does not always so much exceed that of an industrious and frugal peasant, as the accommodation of the latter exceed that of many an African king, the absolute master of their lives and liberties of 10,000 naked savages. Yep, so this is the first chapter of Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, of the Division of Labor. Wow, that's okay. Okay, I will do a little. Okay, for the rest of the 15 minutes, I will do a little bit of oh wait, only. Only you streaming, but 对，这个是第一章。真的要说的话呢，看一下这一本书的话有3本，一套3本，然后呢，大概有11章吧，然后第11章的话还分1、2、3、4、3节，对，还分3、4、5、6啊，他那个最后的那一个真的好疯哦。刚才的话大概是英文的8页的章数吧。So this is just the chapter 1, obviously, but yeah, it's a really it's one of what they called it's the foundation of modern economy by stating supply and demand, invisible hand, and also the division of labor. Oh wait, I think competitive advantages is for Ricardo. Advantage. Competitive type example. I think it's from Ricardo, isn't it? Comparative advantage. Let's see. Oh, it's actually from Adam Smith. Yeah, it's from Adam Smith. Yeah, all of these concepts is a foundation of modern economy. Because before that, it's like Mafias, Ricardo, and then yeah. So, and it started the mercenary state, and then it becomes like the book of the modern economy. Like a lot of the concept is still being used, and calculate in modern days. So yeah, it got like 3 books, and the first book is like 11 chapter and at least 2, and the chapter 11 is got like around 100 and something pages. Yep. Volume 1, The Wealth of Nations. How about Volume 2? Got on different employment of capital of stock, lands as interest. Wow, that's actually really deep. System of political. Wait, they got a book 4. Well, book 2 and book 3 it's way shorter. Yeah, book 1 it's the craziest one. Yeah, but still. Yeah, mercantilism. Yeah, old classic, but yeah, it's a good read if you really interested in economy. this is one of the OG books you should read. Yeah. Economic history. Economy and well, history of British commerce. History of British commerce. Wow, okay, it's too long. I'm not gonna read that. Yeah, but I'm not sure how you guys feel like me reading some like 30-something pages long stuff. Yeah, but that is what I call advanced English. If you want to be fluent in English, that is like the basic you need to read. Yeah. Sure, normally we won't read that much, of course, but in terms of English, you have to at least understand that chapter, or at least stay focused while listening to that, because I wouldn't say we use a lot of big words, you know, like, yeah, typical big words. Yeah, we don't use words like grandiloquent, prognosticator, quintessences, confabulation, this kind of flabbergast, flabbertigibit. No, we don't use them. But it's still yeah, sometimes you know more. It just makes you feel more confident, you know. Sometimes you can use acceptable, exceptional, marvelous, satisfied, satisfactory, you know. Yeah, but remember, don't use a $5 word when a 50-cent word will do. You know, you can say self-restraining, not abstentious, like ability, not acumen. You can say hard to classify instead of anomalous. Like, yeah. I mean, these big words, even like a lot of people won't even notice. Yeah, if you can use a simple, yeah, sure, but yeah, you can say, well, the teacher always say use big words, but trust me, normally we don't say like that. Like, in the anomaly of, no. Maybe you're in court, yeah, you might be, you know, but normally when we speak, we just say good, bad, sucks, fuck off, you know. Yeah, but remember to know how to use the word fuck. Fuck off, get the fuck over here, you fuck face. Yeah, just that. This is like the square word that you can just fit in anywhere and everyone would know what you mean. Yeah, bona fide, no. Bonhomie, no. Bourgeois, no. Bravado, no. Broke, no. Brusque, no. Carte blanche, no. That's even from French. Charisma, yeah, charisma, it's a good one. Deja vu, it's a good one. Caustic is a good one. Just dichotomy, not really useful. Epitome, this kind, epitome might be good. Okay, epitome, I'll give it a pass. Facious, no. Faux pas. It's French. Come on, it's French. Faux pas, it's French. Fiasco is a good one you can learn. Yeah, if don't use hard word. If you can use a simple word, use a small word to just describe the whole thing properly. You know, heresy, it's okay. Yeah, like just use simple will do. You know. So if you want to speak good English, don't try to force those big words because people will hear that you're not confident with it. Maybe unless you're really that good, sure, spit it out and like treat everyone like a dumbass. Fair enough. Good for you. But if you're not familiar with the language, try to be more comfortable first. Use the simple one, but simple, direct, precise, boom, bam. Don't think for like half an hour and then like scratch the hard word from like deep inside your brain. Don't like pull it out, stick it to your tongue and make yourself sound good. No, mate. Confidence is the key. Confidence is the key. Some word like minimalist, narcissist, mercenaries, mantra, oblivion, good word to use, but paradox, good word to use. But if you look for like quid pro quo, I would say, yeah, it sounds cool, Red herring, good word to learn. Yeah, good for you to learn, but remember to make sure that stay in your comfort zone when you speak in English or like a foreign language. Stay in your comfort zone, because yeah, sure, you have to like slowly drag yourself out, but it's by learning language is something funny. It's your comfort zone is it's expanding day by day. The more you learn, it's expanding. So you don't need to like force yourself out. They just expand naturally if you do spend time on like readings or like learning or do those like exercise. Yeah, or you just listen to that podcast and stuff, you absorb it, you like sponge, you absorb them, absorb. You don't need to like force yourself to memorize those hard words and then force yourself to use it. No, it just makes you awkward. It just won't really work that way. And also because when you talk in the language, you have to like say it. Give me an answer. You don't really have the time to think. You have to like snap, say it, snap, express yourself, snap, say it, snap. You can mess up the grammar, you can mess up the vocab. It's alright if you're talking to friends. But if in an exam, of course you need to like practice. That's good. But life is not always an exam. Don't learn something just for the exam. If you love that. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I never think I'm good in English, like in any sense. Not in any sense, like not even a bit, not even a single bit. But somehow I'm here speaking English to a bunch of guys without any preparation, to be honest. Yeah, without any preparation. If you want, you can. You can. You can. Yeah, so first thing you should try to be, it's be comfy. Be comfortable to whatever it is. And just slowly expand your comfort zone. Forcing yourself, it just trigger your trauma. Just be comfortable. Your first step and your most important step is be confident on what you're doing. Get used to it. Yeah, I mean, in Chinese, you don't need to like. Yeah, sometimes you may learn from like the learn from those like textbook and stuff, but you don't need to like force yourself to memorize like those old idioms. You don't necessarily force yourself to use them every day, but sometimes you will just pop it off. It's because your comfort zone is expanding. That's it. That's the easy part. Yeah. Yeah, that's the most simplest way you learn English. Of course, it's not always, Yeah, there's one hard thing that's a lot of us do ignore. It's we don't give ourselves enough credits. Yeah, I never think my English is good, but people say, "Oh, Fugu, you speak, your English is quite well," and I was like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Like, seriously, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. Because I don't think it is doesn't mean that I am not. Yeah, give yourself a little bit more credit. Like, tell yourself you're doing well, you're doing well. Slowly practice, you see your improvement, and one day you'll be fluent. It's a long process, it's a long game, and don't worry. Just don't get worried, okay? Okay? Make yourself comfortable speaking English. That's the foremost important thing. Don't be like, oh god, I saw that. No. Slowly get used to it. That's the clue. That's the cue. So yeah, wish everyone good luck. Should I stay a bit longer? I don't know. I mean, I only plan to stream like 2 hours a day. Or maybe I should switch to Twitch. Yeah, I should switch to Twitch. Alright guys, then I'm gonna switch to Twitch a little bit. Give me like half an hour, 50 minutes maybe. Yeah, and then I will switch to Twitch and probably stream some games. Because yesterday I didn't stream anything. But I might have some adjustment on my weekend schedule. 对我这个周末的话，可能行程会有一点点的改变。对，我待会会再公布。不过我在 YT 今天预计是开2个小时了，所以呢，我待会应该15分钟到半个小时后，我会在图奇那边开台。对，今天也不会开很晚的，不会开很晚的。はい、とにかくね、皆さん。各位众亲家可以退潮咯。皆さんこんばんは、こんばんは、おやすみ。Good night and have a good evening. Sweet dreams and see you next time. Bye bye.阿默默晚安晚安，我用英语也说教。ICUP what's that? Jiggy no not cannibal no 什么说教了？刚才我的聊天室卡了。好了，晚安啦，阿默默晚安，我没有说教了，晚安啦，晚安啦，おやすみおやすみおやすみ。